may be considered the world's foremost scholar of Baywatch Nights, but I've made it no secret that Season 2 is an absolute dumpster fire. Oh sure, I have a grand chuckle when I think of the highlights, such as Mitch fighting a vampire or shooting a flaming arrow at a Viking funeral pyre. But then I remember what it's like actually sitting down and watching the show, and it's an extremely sobering experience. While I might be able to enjoy the ridiculous moments when they come, I will be the first to tell you that most of it is a chore. When a show is this terrible, you might be wondering how bad a singular episode has to be for me to consider it the worst. Well, then I will direct you to Ascension. So here's what happened. Baywatch Nights prided itself in being the microwave dinner X-Files. They were copying the style and format of a far superior show, with no understanding of what made it work, and thus resulting in much cheaper and confusing results. And X-Files is one of the best sci-fi shows ever made. Their Monster of the Week episodes genuinely terrified me as a kid. They were gross and scary and darkly funny at times. The chemistry between the leads was undeniable, and the effects and atmosphere were impressive and unique. People watched on the edge of their seats as Mulder and Scully explored the bizarre and unknown, all while dealing with ominous government and alien threats. The overarching mystery kept the audience reeled in, while we wondered just where it was all going. Well, after 9 seasons, 2 movies, and 2 revival seasons, I can tell you that it was going fucking nowhere. The conspiracy episodes can kiss my ass, because I always found them boring and insufferable. It's just endless hours of people talking in smoky rooms about nothing at all. There's no plan, no clever payoff, it's just vague and pretentious. Who gives a flying fuck? Don't change my mind, I know I'm right. So now let's do the Baywatch Nights version of that. Baywatch Nights is already a show about nothing that makes no sense, so let's have them do some sort of conspiracy thing about something or other, but have no idea how to do intrigue or anything even remotely comprehensible. Then you have Ascension. I have seen this episode at least 3 or 4 times now, and I cannot tell you what the shit it's about. I just can't do it. Even the IMDb description is laughably unhelpful. Teague asks Mitch and Ryan for help of the Knights Templar when they are faced with torture devices which are controlled with modern electronics by an Asian woman. Having rewatched this episode, I can say only the part about the Asian woman really happens like that, but oh well, let's look at this piece of crap. Huh? Riveting. Oh, shut up! Teague is in the midst of some mysterious dealings of mysteriosity, while some guys wearing the biggest earpieces in the universe think they are being covert. Somehow, Teague notices them 2 feet away from him and proceeds to do what he thinks is a cool fence hop, which is kind of undercut by the fact he was apparently right next to the gate. Then, in a moment of absurdity, he manages to magically disappear off of a roof, which the show explains by giving us a big middle finger. Also, I guess we're now randomly getting Teague voiceovers, and he tells us it had to be Stallinger's men.
It had to be Stallinger's men.
Well, I just gotta know who Stallinger is. I'm strapped the fuck in. Meanwhile, at Casa de Buchanan... Oh, come on. The dude owned a couch made out of a boat. Do you really need special lasers to break in? Meanwhile, Ryan is sleeping in her eyeliner and has a psychic dream where she witnesses the whole thing. Why? So she can go over to Mitch's house and get kidnapped too. I guess that's a good enough reason for her to have random powers. Ugh, they made me breathe fresh air in that thing. For upwards of 30 minutes, there wasn't a whiff of Old Spice in my nostrils. Anyway, presumably Hobie was also kidnapped and tortured off screen in this episode, so the next best person to talk to is Griff. I'm Griff. This is Griff's stunning last episode, so get your tissues out, I suppose. I don't have much else to say about him other than he was Griff. But I did want to point out that Eddie Cibrian followed up Baywatch Nights by joining a boy band called 3 Deep. Three Deep was apparently a very popular band in Canada.
Baby, tonight, from the moment I look in your eyes.
I found this to be one of the more fascinating transitions into singing that spun off from Baywatch. Like, it was a step above Jeremy Jackson's singing career, but not as weird as Alexandra Paul's song on the Baywatch album.
When you're all alone, looking out for love, you better let a few go by.
Since Baywatch Nights, Eddie Cibrian has had a decently successful acting career and seems to be doing alright for himself. Perhaps we were the Griffs all along.
I do believe this was cut with a Stilson laser saw.
Wait, so that's just a standard tool that can... You know what? Never mind. I'm just happy to see that this cop guy recovered from dying in the vampire episode, except for his memories of having met Mitch, Ryan, and Griff already. Meanwhile, the Asian woman is here. She says her name is Kyoko, but I think I'm gonna trust IMDb on this one. Anyway, she's here to do the dirty work, while the real person pulling the strings is a disembodied voice who demands information.
We need some information.
Information about what? Hell, if he's gonna tell Mitch, just ask vague stuff about something, but never clarify. That's how you get answers.
She doesn't have anything to do with this.
Do with what?
This episode sucks, but they do have a sweet topical reference to that time Clinton admitted to smoking weed, which was already 5 years in the past when this episode aired.
Clinton doesn't inhale, what else?
Mitch, why did you have to go and remind people about that? Shut up, Prez! The audience's reaction as they watch this episode of Baywatch Nights.
Ah, you bastards! Ah!
Okay, I'm sorry. Are they actually torturing Mitch with fresh fruit? Or, I mean, I would love to speak to the prop master for Baywatch Nights and ask why this was featured in this torture chamber. Well, things are looking bad, but luckily they have Detective Griff on the case. That cop guy is gone from the episode. Griff takes 2 seconds to look in Mitch's phone book and discovers the super secret way to contact Teague?
Welcome to Cyber Earth. Your update is confirmed. Please leave your message.
Yeah, Teague, what is cool? I'm sorry. If Griff can figure this out, then you have massively underestimated how bad Mitch is at hiding confidential information. I'm Griff!
Yes.
This is what sodium pentothal does, right? Makes you see wolves and gargoyles and stuff? What movie did we steal that from? I'm Griff! Don't touch me, unless you know something about things that go bump in the night. Griff demands to know what the Griff is going on here, to which Teague replies with a question.
Have you ever heard of the Knights Templar?
The Knights Templar, a holy order established in the 11th century, fought in the Crusades and were said to have found the Holy Grail. But according to Teague, that was just the beginning. Now they rule the world and orchestrate every important thing that happens or something. They're controlled by a seemingly ageless, faceless man named Stollinger.
Controlled by a seemingly ageless, faceless man named Stollinger.
This is apparently the first time Stollinger is going to surface. Ever? I don't know. Teague thinks this may be his only chance to take this guy out and turn the tide of good and evil. Yeah, sure. However many centuries of total world dominance, and they're gonna be taken out by the guy who told Griff, I'm Griff Walker, about their whole secret plan. Teague lays it out straight. He can't focus on Mitch and Ryan. He has one mission, and he'll let them die if he needs to. When they go in, Griff is on his own.
You are their only chance.
Well, they're dead. Meanwhile, Asian woman has a change of heart and conveniently decides to help rescue Mitch in her sexy midriff shirt.
You must hurry.
Well, I guess they have time to discuss the plot, whatever it may be. It turns out they were captured because the Knights Templar think Teague, and therefore Mitch and Ryan, know about their secret meeting of secrets coming up.
There's a secret meeting coming up with a lot at stake.
There are secrets.
What secrets?
So many secrets.
It kinda seems like they took Ryan as a bonus and are focusing solely on Mitch, the lifeguard, as possibly knowing about this secret meeting, but whatever.
No, don't look up.
Don't look up, Ryan. We don't want anyone watching to know what's going on. Now, come on over here and I'll pull you into the grate. They'll never see that.
Up to my chin, the perfect height for a door.
Thanks, Asian woman.
My name's Kyoko.
No time to talk, Asian woman. Take your hair out of your ponytail and let's go. Just kidding. I knew you were setting us up all along. Nice try, Asian woman.
They've breached the warehouse. Take him out.
Frog hybrid girlfriend flashbacks. Ryan, I'm losing it.
What is this about?
You're not the only one who wants to know, Ryan. Mitch and Ryan come to the conclusion, out of nowhere, that the Knights Templar are setting up Teague. And then they determine they're going to be at a hospital because the hospital's name is on the side of one of their torture chairs for some reason. And then they just leave to go there? How did they get out?
I have one opportunity to bring this man down.
We escaped somehow. Hope us getting out of that place wasn't a majority of this episode or anything.
I'm Griff.
Griff? They let you on this team for some reason?
I'm Griff? Good to know we aren't the only ones confused.
We must have trust in each other.
We must have extremely loud, echoey secret meetings in abandoned hospitals. This is how we continue to rule the world.
Try, you will not fail. I hope that in this final moment that you, Mr.
Oh, man.
Wow, this episode is blown more than usual. Teague, not our poor, sweet friend slash boss slash financier slash question mark who was willing to torture a boy for science and leave us for dead. We're coming! Oh, thank God, water for some reason. Now me being a lifeguard means something.
Tell me, Mitch, is it still the time of the demons?
Yeah, sure, whatever.
Teague has been shaken by his near-death experience, and Mitch acts smug about it.
Thanks.
I am superior to you in every way.
But what about Stollinger? It turns out he was really the back of this old man's head all along. Let us never come back to this. Next time on Baywatch, Mitch and the captain? Together? Meanwhile, Manny was in a gang, I guess. Ay caramba!